Welcome back into another NBA DFS video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets on PrizePicks for Thursday. So touching on the Lakers versus the Warriors. We can see that the Warriors are going to be favored to win by 5.5 points after losing to the Lakers last game, and I would say that's probably right. We do see that is going to be a higher scoring game as well for the playoffs, 227.5. So with that, I kind of expect this game to somewhat go the same way it went in the first game. And so if that happens, obviously we'll know kind of what to expect. But I will say that is predicated on how LeBron is shooting the basketball. So let's go ahead and let's start with that. And I kind of find LeBron's points prop kind of crazy just because thus far this playoffs, he has kind of struggled. Okay, it's just, and we can see it after he burned everyone for the Taco Tuesday by missing a free throw at the end of the game. It was brutal. But yeah, hasn't been able to get the over. And if we look at why, it has just been because he has been shooting the ball not too well, especially from three-ball land, and he certainly is chucking. Look at what he's done lately. 1 for 8, 2 for 5, 1 for 9, 1 for 7, 0 for 4. Just shooting the ball terribly from 3. And so if that trend continues where LeBron is struggling to shoot the basketball, then I think we can count on those other players like Anthony Davis, like D'Angelo Russell, and even Austin Reeves to go out and play well. It's kind of one of those situations where if LeBron is shooting the basketball well, I don't see those other guys hitting. So the kind of bet that I'm seeing today, at least for this slate, the one that makes the most logical sense to me is kind of bet on LeBron struggling again. Whether you want to include that with the slip or not, maybe bet LeBron under points. I don't know if I want to do that, but we could make our PrizePicks slip based off it. And for what it's worth, if we get like LeBron 1.5 threes made, I would probably take that just because, man, he has been terrible from the 3-ball range. You expect him to have at least one good. But let's go ahead and look at it. Like if we are not going to be using LeBron, okay, I think we kind of have to roll with Anthony Davis. So looking at Anthony Davis, we can see he has had some really big spike games. And what I find interesting is really the minutes lately, okay? 44, which is crazy for Anthony Davis, right? They didn't get banged up at all. Knock on wood, that's always the biggest worry with Anthony Davis. Obviously, in the other game against Memphis was a blowout. We can kind of just write that off, just a blowout. They didn't need him to score that much, only played 28 points. Heck, if you times out his production to, 10 more game minutes, he probably gets the over fantasy points there on a point per minute basis. And the other games that stay close, like Vegas is suggesting with that 5.5 game spread, then I think he has a great chance to get that over fantasy points again, especially given the fact that he's been getting a ton of minutes. Now, once again, I do think this is very much going to be predicated on if LeBron struggles or not. And if he continues to struggle shooting the basketball, well, who else is he going to defer to? He's going to defer to D'Angelo Russell. And guys, this is what I don't like about single game stuff, because with one game, you kind of have to make a statement of how the game's going to go, whether that be NFL DFS or whatnot. You kind of have to make a prediction of how the game's going to go and make your lineups slips based off of that. And that's what I'm doing today or tomorrow, depending on when you guys are watching. So looking at Russell, he actually surprisingly got a little bit more run, 33 minutes in that last game. And you know what's funny? Didn't particularly shoot the ball too well. Okay, like 9 for 19. Okay, I love the shot attempts being at 19. That's great. Keep that up. If he does that again, we are going to be sitting pretty with that bet. 1 for 5 from 3. Like just terrible. And he really didn't have that many assists or rebounds. Was right at his norm there. It's kind of this extra run that we like to see. And so really the bet to me here is him just having a better game shooting. I always kind of talk about this. You have a player coming in off of a poor night shooting. I typically like to attack them the very next slate because chances are they're going to have a good night shooting. And heck, if he struggles again shooting, probably going to attack him again the following slate. And now that I'm looking, I'm like, well, shoot, if that's true, like his points actually is not terrible. But once again, I really think this is predicated on LeBron, how he is shooting it. And what I find strange about that too as well is just like, look at LeBron's assists that he hasn't exactly been dominating there. You kind of think he would. It's just been more the AD show. So with the amount of shots that have been occurring in the Lakers games lately, obviously going against Memphis and Golden State Warriors, a little bit higher pace, a little bit more shot attempts, especially for Golden State, Reeves has been getting rebounds. And I'm actually a little bit shocked that this number hasn't bumped up too much or at all. Like, thought it was a decent bet in their previous game, was able to get over there. And I liked it because of my art. Has a good chance to be a push. And if we look at it right now, like this, I don't know if this will change at all, but we can see like DraftKings Sportsbook, and I'm pulling this up instead of mine because mine updates on that day for the projection data. But we can see like they are kind of favoring 4.5 there, and that's probably because of his recent production. So that'll be an interesting line to watch come Thursday morning. But we are seeing like we do have an opportunity to potentially build out some stack with the Lakers. And then simply put, do we rock with Kevon Looney still? That is my biggest question. And it's crazy. AD's getting all this love love for his huge game that he had. I'm all like, Kevon Looney just went crazy again against Anthony Davis. Where's the love for him? Okay, like, do we want to do fantasy score? That's my biggest question for Looney, because his points, rebounds, and assists is still pretty low as well. Now, sure, both correlate together, but he has just been dominating rebound-wise. And, not exactly going to get blocks, I don't think. So to me, it's with those amount of rebounds that he's getting, that's obviously helping the fantasy score, the 1.3 points. But also, it almost makes more sense to just do points, rebounds, and assists, because chances of him maybe getting another turnover, I'd say that's higher than getting like 2 blocks or something. Either way, with Looney playing 30 minutes, he's definitely someone that's still attractive as a fantasy option. My question was, can we continue to roll with him in the last game? And that turned out to be yes, we can. Honestly, him going off really saved my night for the Taco Tuesday. And then really throughout the whole season, I thought, with the Warriors, it's just kind of random who's going off, whether it be Jordan Poole, who just got hot shooting the 3-ball, except for that last one. Clay, obviously Clay is going to get a ton of run no matter what. And then even like Curry as well, and Wiggins now too. Like, there's just too many players that can produce. And what sucks is, like, for someone like Jordan Poole, it is literally this. It is literally, if he's on, he's going to smash. If he's off, not going to be close. Kind of wish we could tease sometimes one way or the other. But let's go ahead and get into my picks. So obviously things can change throughout the day that would adjust these props that I want to be on. The Wednesday video, right after I had finished, literally right after I finished, Embiid went from being doubtful from all the reports the previous night and that morning to probable. And it was just like, great. That really makes my video irrelevant. And the props I already made, bets on, terrible. We shouldn't have that worry at all for this one. I'm actually pretty excited for the Friday slate, because it already seems like we are getting some good props potentially with Chris Paul injury situation. Just had to wait on more news on that just to confirm who we should be on. But looking at Anthony Davis over fantasy score, I do think he's going to continue to have a good day with Anthony Davis and Kevon Looney. If you guys want to flip it in terms of points, rebounds, and assists, maybe you want to do that with Anthony Davis, I'd be fine with that. And also for Kevon Looney as well, you could do that as well. Austin Reeves, I really don't mind as well for rebounds. There's just going to be a lot of shot attempts, and if he's going to continue to get a lot of minutes, I think that's going to be a good way to go. And then if LeBron's going to be struggling still shooting the basketball, they're going to need to depend on D'Angelo Russell scoring. So you could just do 15.5 points if you wanted to, but I think fantasy score is going to be a good option to roll with. And then I also tossed in a golf prop. Okay, now I just want to make this clear, like, using the 9-to-5, bad draw. Using the 9-to-5 PrizePicks and Underdog cheat sheet for fantasy golf. And I'm shocked that this is still out there for Ricky. We're seeing a big prop line difference. 1.5 is a lot. So maybe these are ones that you want to go ahead and make on Underdog. And I'd be fine with that. In that situation, what you'd do is you'd bet the over for Ricky Fowler. We are just seeing a big discrepancy there. And since he's projected to get under 71 strokes, I went on PrizePicks. I think that's where the biggest edge is there. But we typically do not see golf props that are that different. And so that's why I like including that in here as well. But that's going to be all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the coverage, make sure to give a like and subscribe. And honestly, guys, like the channel, like the video. Those have been down a little bit, and obviously more likes helps the channel. If you guys want access to the 9-to-5 PrizePicks and Underdog cheat sheet, it is $10 a month. I priced that for you guys. It's a great value, great asset to use when you're doing your research to make the best props bets you can possible each and every day. All right, let's have a good slate, and as always, let's keep cashing.